For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
What is the syllabus for the licensed custom brokers examination in India? The regulation 6 of the custom broker licensing regulations gives the syllabus very clearly, and that is why this examination is also known as a regulation 6 exam or an FCard exam. We are presently under the Custom Broker Licensing Regulations 2018, and that is why we use the word Regulation 16. This is a video to help you with the entire syllabus. But before we go into the syllabus, we need to remember that this is a self-study examination. Coaching classes, private tuitions and everything will only expose you to the entire syllabus, but a lot of it will have to be done by you on your own. Another important thing which I want to explain is that please use a translator, use a dictionary from English into your language or Google from English into your language, but don't assume any words, because each word during this examination has a very specific meaning and you should be in a position to understand the meaning of that. Remember that this is an examination of the micro. It's an objective paper. But to be able to remember the micro, you must understand the macro, the bigger picture, because once you understand the bigger picture, understanding the finer points will be very easy. The first line in the syllabus uses the word may include, which means that it is an open-ended syllabus. They can add anything they want as long as it is pertaining to movement across international borders and it is pertaining to custom clearance. So please remember that the syllabus is not closed-ended, but it is a wide open. The first one is preparation of various documents. In the present format, they are not making you sit on a computer and making you do data entry, but you should know what are the different types of documents that are filed in customs and what are the documents that have to be attached with it. The second is arrival, entry and clearance of vessels. So that would be the way the carriages come into the country and they move out of the country. The third clause is tariff classification and rates of duty. This would mean that you must understand the Indian Customs Tariff Act 1975, the rules of interpretation. You should know how to do the classification right from chapter 1 to chapter 99 and what would be the duty charging sections. Over and above this, you should also be familiar with the different types of duties and the different standard rates which are available. The next point is determination of value of imported and export goods. Understand the words imported and export from the definitions given in the Customs Act. This is talking about valuation. So valuation is a bullet point syllabus for you. Conversion of currency. We all deal in international currency, but assessable value is done in Indian rupees, and you should know how to convert the currency, which are the charging sections, what are the notifications and how it is to be done. The next clause is the nature and description of documents to be filed along with the papers. So what are the documents you will do e-sanchit and why you will do them. The next one is the procedural aspect for assessment. So what is the definition of assessment? What are the 6 elements of assessment? How do you pay duty? The recent amendments in the cash ledgers, everything, including refunds of duty paid. The next point of the syllabus is examination of goods as custom station. So you should understand RMS examination, what is the type of examinations done, etc. The next point in your syllabus is the prohibitions on import and export. So this would be specifically Section 11 of the Customs Act, and prohibitions and restrictions under the foreign trade policy and under the various PGAs as available. The next point is bonding procedure and clearance from bond. This would include the private warehouses, the special warehouses, the public bonded warehouses, the mover scheme. All of it would get covered right over here. The next point in your syllabus is re-importation and conditions for free re-entry. The next one of your syllabus is drawback and export promotion schemes. So when we are talking about drawback and export promotion schemes, you are talking drawback from the customs point of view, you are talking RODTEP from the customs point of view, and export schemes, you are talking EPCG, advance authorization, etc. from the foreign trade policy. The next one is offenses under the Act. So you should know what are the offenses, who can commit them, and all those 3-4 chapters in the Customs Act attached to it. And then we have so many allied acts. You need to understand each of these allied acts from the perspective of their usage in movement across international borders when custom clearance has to take place either on import cycle or export cycle. In the syllabus, 13 are listed, but in practice we all know that the number of acts that are implemented by Indian customs is much larger. The next one, and that is the Provisions and Prevention of Corruption Act. That's a very strong act. You should know all the relevant portions of that act to be able to answer questions on it. The next one would be procedure for appeals and revisions, going right up to the Supreme Court of India, under what conditions, who can go, value restrictions, everything. The next point in your syllabus is online filing. So you must understand EDI, IceGate, ICES, single window, RMS, etc. All of it that falls under this. The next one is knowledge of rules, regulations and notifications. We all understand that there are about 20 rules which custom implements and more than 42 regulations, and the number of notifications are humongous, and this is only under the Customs Act. Whereas this syllabus point also uses the word allied acts. So all the rules made under the allied acts have also to be studied by you. In the entire preparation, please remember that you are the most important person as to how you target preparation and how do you do it. Take this study very seriously. It is not a difficult exam, but it is becoming difficult because of it being very specific, too much to the point, and no space for ambiguity or any confusion on your side. It's an industry, custom clearance is an industry which is based on knowledge, and the effort of the government is to test your knowledge. Remember, it's an objective paper. You will have to be very specific in your answers, and there is negative marking. What are the things that you need to remember? You need to remember the name of the act, the section numbers, who was the proper officer, what is the time limit, is there a value limit, more importantly, what are the definitions attached to it, what are the conditions attached to it, is there permission or is there no permission within that section, what is the prohibition, is there a public notice, and the important public notice is numbers you will have to remember. So in short, you have to go very specific with everything, and that is what complicates the whole issue. When you study the Customs Act, you will realize that some sections give the name of a proper officer by status, some say to be notified, some say central government, some say board. So you have to remember all of that. Some say permission, some sections do not use the word permission. So that is how you study all of them, whether it is the FTP, it is the FEMA, it is the Customs Tariff Act, it is the Allied Acts. or it is the Customs Act. The macro would be to be able to understand the how, the who, the why, the what, the where and the when of each section that you are studying. So in short, it's a simple syllabus, open-ended but very wide. So it requires a lot of preparations and more importantly a lot of specific preparations in that. Is the exam difficult or is it easy? I think it will all depend on your preparations. If you tackle the examination in a very systematic manner, by understanding the syllabus, by understanding the macro, remembering the micro and doing a lot of practice with all the topics, then I'm sure it's going to be very, very easy for all of you. So with this, happy learning and all the very best to all the future licensed custom brokers in India.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.